Today I'm testing all my cars to see which is king of the street, which is the quickest from 0 to 60. All right, so you got king of the street. Missing, of course, is the brand new Z06 yellow black stripes. That's up in Tennessee. 670 horsepower, flat plain crank V8. 2005 Ford GT, making about 650 horsepower to the wheels, mid-engine, manual transmission. This one's going to be the hardest one to drive. I think we'll start with this one. 2021 SF90 Stradale, making almost 1,000 horsepower. 765 LT Spider, 765 horsepower. But we all know it's making more like 850. Come on, McLaren. Old school 1993 Mazda RX7 R1. Bone stock, 255 horsepower. This thing's just mint. Need to do some more videos on this. We'll get to that later. On to the Huracan Technica, 640 horsepower, rear wheel drive, so it doesn't launch as good as the old one, but still very, very quick from 0 to 60. On to the Tesla Plaid, of course, 1,020 horsepower, all wheel drive, 4,800 pounds. This thing's a monster. And on to the daily of the dailies, the Tesla Model Y Performance. This one makes about 500 horsepower. Tire pressures are essential to getting great 0 to 60 times and keeping your car great on the road. And this is where I have a really cool device to show you today. Right here, we got the Gantu tire inflator. This is an AC/DC powered. So right now I'm plugged into the wall. That gives you full power all the time. It also comes with a cigarette lighter adapter to plug into the car carrying case and adapters to plug in for basketballs or other inflatables. So all we do here is to check the tire pressure, make sure we're ready for 0 to 60. We plug that in right there and it'll give us a reading. We are at 27 PSI right now. We want to be at 30. This actually has presets, so I can hit the R button here and we got user presets. You might have one car that needs 25, your second car needs 36, your third car needs 36 or something like that. Right now we're on the car, it's at 31. We actually want the SF90 at 30 PSI, so we'll set it right there. Then we will hit the play button and there we go. We will pump up from 27 to 30 PSI. And there we go, just like that, we're at 30 PSI. It's also got some other features, so if you hit this button here, you can cycle through PSI or KPA or kilograms per centimeter squared, or bar even right there too, that's pretty cool. But we are using basically just the PSI function. Now because this has dual cylinders, it can pump up to 150 PSI. So I've had some of the weaker ones on other cars, and when I go to pump up my trucks, it like hesitates even at 60, but because of the dual cylinders, it's actually patented. It goes up to 150 PSI. So even on trailer tires, you need that high PSI or big trucks. If you want to pick one of these up, I'll put a link down in the description so you can get a special drag times deal. All right, first up, we're gonna start with the 2005 Ford GT. Drop in the comments, what do you think 0 to 60 is with me manually launching this on the street? Let's hit it. All right, here we are in the Ford GT. Likes to spin, right there spinning. But nothing like driving this car. It is just awesome all around. Rev it up to about 3,000. Oh man, a lot of spin. Gonna try and come off it like idle. It's got a lot of torque. Let's see. Felt a little better. We'll give it one more try. Just coming off idle seems a little better. Let's give the Ferrari a run. Almost 1,000 horsepower, all-wheel drive hybrid. This thing is the closest car you're gonna drive with a gas engine compared to the Plaid over there. I gotta say, this is the only gas car I've driven that competes with the Plaid 0 to 60. Nothing else comes close. This SF90 all-wheel drive 1,000 horsepower is just nuts. Let's give it a try. Complete stop, enter power start mode, enter launch control. Here we go. Oh, jeez, it just sticks and goes. I mean, that's it, 0 to 60, done. Crazy. 2.4 seconds, and with the rollout, it's probably like 2.2 or 2.1 even. And for good measure, one more shot with CT off. Let's see what we get. Oh, there we go. 2.37, that seems like a 2.1 right there. CT off might be where it's at. Again, closest thing to driving a Plaid, stock for stock, has gotta be this Ferrari. Oh, there we go. Woo, 2.37, that seems like a 2.1 right there. Onto the 765 LT Spider. This thing's an absolute monster. Twin turbo V8, rear wheel drive, super lightweight. This car comes in at just around 3,100 pounds. Let's see how it does 0 to 60. Now onto the car that started it all for Drag Times, 1993 Mazda RX7. This is the start of the Drag Times channel, start of the Drag Times website. This is bone stock. I bought it a few years ago to bring back the old school things that started Drag Times. Rotary engine, 1.3 liter, twin turbocharged sequential, 255 horsepower. This thing weighs at 2,700 pounds. 0 to 60, coming right up. The Huracan Technica 2023 5.2 liter V10 naturally aspirated rear wheel drive comes in at 3,350 pounds. 0 to 60, let's do it. Next up, the daily of the daily of the dailies, the Tesla Model Y Performance. This thing makes about 500 horsepower, has no launch control, just stomp and go. Let's see what it gets from 0 to 60. Rough. Ah, feels pretty good.
30.
60 came up pretty quick.
60.
Here we go. We got to give the Corvette Z06 a try. Now this is using a different metric, the built-in metrics from the PDR recorder in the Z06, because didn't have the drag yet when I finally took delivery of my car. But let's see what the Z06 does, 0 to 60. There we go. That was working. There we go. Last but not least, we got the Teslas. This is the Tesla Plaid. It was the quickest production car to 60 miles an hour, and we're gonna see what it does right here. 1,020 horsepower all-wheel drive, 3 motors. We got the lightweight signature wheels on here as well. Let's give it a try.
60. 60.
All right, so that is a wrap of King of the Street testing of every car in my garage. I'm sure you're not surprised that the Tesla Model S Plaid 1 with 0 to 60 in 1.99 with the rollout, or 2.0, some 2.1 without. But the Ferrari is real close, and it's anyone's race on the street of who's gonna win. It's basically all down to the reaction time. But overall, times range from 2 seconds up to 6 seconds for the Mazda RX7, and being 30 years old, I didn't think it did so bad. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, helps the video and the channel, and we'll be back to racing soon. We got a track rental coming up at Bradenton. We're bringing out the Technica, a Cayenne Turbo GT, a Urus, and a bunch of other cool cars to race against the Technica. So stay tuned, subscribe, and you'll see all the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.